Hello, everybody, and once again, welcome back. So, Harry, the Duke of Montecito, appeared on Dax Shepard's podcast instead of him and his wife appearing or going to the trouble of producing their own podcast again. I guess they realized they are not that funny or interesting. However, I'm afraid as time goes by, both Harry and his wife are showing their true colours more and more. Two pieces of shite who apparently are so aware of their own shiteness that Harry, the Duke of Montecito, thought it was cool and appropriate to use the word often. Yes, you heard me right. The Duke of Montecito, the ginger whinger, asked Dax Shepard about a shite load of drugs and getting shite done. Classy, just Harry, real classy. Can you imagine that language during a speech at a royal event? Not exactly what we would expect, is it? And then the Duke of Montecito obviously has not learned yet that you do not criticize another popular podcaster while you are on a podcast on the same platform. The Duke of Montecito, just Harry, also thought it was cool of him to ask Dax Shepard about his feelings about Joe Rogan's comments. Remember, Joe Rogan suggested that healthy young people should not get the vaccine. And then, without taking a breath or pausing to think, he continued saying that people should be careful what comes out of their mouths, saying it's spattered all over the place, so people are like, listen to Joe Rogan, just stay out of it. If you have a platform, with a platform comes responsibility. Well, firstly, the Duke of Montecito is not really the one to talk about responsibility, is he? I mean, after all, he dropped all his responsibilities along with everyone else to run off to California. Secondly, who exactly does the Duke of Montecito think he is, telling anyone to stay out of anything? Who died and made him overlord of the planet Earth? The last time I checked, we all have a right to our own opinion. Then he goes on to tell about how, when the unmentionable one came to visit him for the first time, they had to pretend they do not know each other in a supermarket and secretly text each other items for their shopping list from across the aisles. Oh my word, couldn't they have completed their shopping list before going out? Couldn't they have sent one of the ex-prince's aides out to do the shopping if they wanted to be so secret? And why be so secretive if she was staying with him at Kensington and they were obviously already doing the hanky-panky? Anyway, his whole story sounds similar to his wife's "we got married 3 days before we got married" story. Just utter fabrication. So I guess this was a case of a compulsive liar telling other people to watch what comes out of their mouths. Oh my word. I don't know what the Duke of Montecito was on during this podcast, but verbal diarrhea is a phrase which comes to mind. Maybe he had a mug of clever latte before he came on. Who knows? But an enema in his ear would have worked just as well. Because the Duke of Montecito whinged about his life as a real duke and prince, saying that his previous life could be compared to the Truman Show or that of an animal in the zoo. He said that in his early 20s it was a case of, I don't want this job. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. Look what it did to my mom. He said he knew if he was going to settle down, it was going to happen again. This man is seriously deranged. But firstly, this is not the first time he said that he did not want to be a Prince of Britain. He said the same thing during an interview while in Afghanistan. He said the same thing during an interview commemorating his mother's death. And now he's still saying it. So when is the monarchy going to give him what he wants and take all those titles? Or when is he going to give the titles back? He does not want to be a prince. We don't want him as a prince anymore. So what's the problem? Anyway, while whinging on about his life as a prince, he obviously talks about their privacy, etc. And it's a pity the host, Dax Shepard, did not ask him what, in his mind, the difference pertaining to their privacy is between what he had to do as a prince and now, with all the Netflix, Spotify, Vax concert, Oprah interviews, blah, 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 what the difference is. All I can think is that the Duke of Montecito and his wife prefers the circus to the Truman Show, or perhaps prefers the circus to the zoo, because what a circus this is. From double-decker bus rides, where the ginger whinger spills more of his private life, to an Oprah interview where they intermingle their stories about their private life with lies for more dramatic effect, to a podcast where he continues to play the mommy card and the woe is me, poor ultra-rich boy from an ultra-privileged family. How could he stand it? And then let's not forget that he thought it was a good idea to trash his father and grandparents in this podcast, saying that he was brought up by his father the way his father was brought up, and how much hurt that caused, and how he wished to break the cycle by moving to LA. So I think it's good that they moved there. Now, can they please hand back that prince title he got just because of who his father is? And can he please hand back that duke title his horrible granny bestowed on him? I have no idea how much more slander and shade the royal family is prepared to take from the Duke of Montecito and his Botoxed wife. But it is now bordering on the ridiculous, and the longer they wait to remove those British titles, the more ridiculous they look. Ridiculous, pathetic, and weak. Okay, folks, so that's me for today. In the next video, I'll be bringing you even more ridiculous stories from the Montecito Duke and his Botox-filled wife. So watch out for that. Okay, folks, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your support. And take good care of yourselves so we can meet again on the next video. Bye.